Hey, folks. I know that I'm late, but grandkids don't always want to to lay down when you want them to, and so forth and so on. So I'm going to do this live, and I do not expect for it to be as long as usual. I want to do a recap. A lot more people have started following and have looked for information, and maybe have not been following everything up until this point. And I feel like it's important for us to take a minute, kind of recap, take a breather, bring it all together, and then look how we go forward. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Lori. Hey, Missy. How is everybody? You guys doing okay? So I apologize for being late, but I got my grands here. So hey, Crystal, I saw your email come through. I just haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Hey, Curtis. So today was a little bit of like I needed to. The last 2 days have been family. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Randy. Hey, Lavonda. So I'm going to give it just a sec for folks to finish getting in here so that I can kind of bring everybody up to speed. As you guys can see, I am back in Tennessee. Hey, Tommy. Hey, Chris. Hey, Sherry. I'm going to be here until probably Sunday afternoon, and then I'm going to go back to Atlanta, and I think this time I might get to stay home for 3 weeks. Hey, LaDonna. Hey, Em. Hey, Rosemary. How is everybody? You guys doing okay? So I'm hoping that everyone had a Merry Christmas. It was, thanks, Randy. Today is the anniversary of one of my best friends passing. And, I agree. This is just the commitment that I made with myself when it happened, was that I would just allow myself to grieve as it happens, so today was rougher, you know what I mean? Hey, Stephen, how are you? Hey, Jimmy. So I want to go ahead and dig in for you guys, and don't do that, Pop. And just kind of bring everybody up to speed, kind of take a breather, and just let everybody kind of know where we are. It's a funky little time because we have a lot of things that are happening at the state level. Hey, Michelle, thank you. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. And, because we're in this holiday time. And so, so things are quieter on the state level because of the holidays and that sort. And I think that people are looking for things to slow down or for the pressure to come off. And I will tell you this is why it's essential for us to keep the pressure on at this point in time. So let me just back up and bring everyone up to speed. So a couple of things that I want to talk about just so that we can start to all understand the language that we're using, and everybody be on the same sheet of music. So when we talk about violating the COPA, when we talk about the terms of certification, so the COPA is just the Cooperative Agreement for Public Advantage. That is the document, that is the agreement that allowed Ballad Health to exist. That's what allowed Wellmont Health System and MSHA, Mountain States Health Alliance, to merge together and become the medical monopoly that it currently is in this region. And so when we talk about the terms of certification are the commitments and the agreements that Ballad Health made in order for that COPA to be granted to them. So when we talk about violating the COPA or violating the terms of certification, that's what I'm talking about, okay? So I want us to be really, really clear when we talk about language, because some people are just now, and this is what I love, is that we've been in this thing for like 6 weeks now. And there are people who are just now really kind of getting on board and saying, hey, what is going on? And trying to really gain some understanding. And so I want everyone to have a really good working knowledge of the language and what we're talking about, because this is really, really important, okay? So there are a couple of things. So let me say this. When I say to you that the state health department, that legal counsel is reviewing the terms of certification, that is a fact. I literally have an email from the state health department saying that their legal team is reviewing several different components of information that I sent to them. And that's important for us to know. Okay, what does that tell us? That tells us that the state is aware that there have been actions taken on Ballad Health's behalf, right? Things that they have done, changes that they have implemented that that could in fact, and I believe are violations of the terms of certification. Now, what does that mean? What that means to you is that there is a strong possibility that this COPA is going to have to be, at the very least, modified. Now, that would be the first step, is modification of the COPA before we go into any sort of termination and things of that nature. So when we say modifying the COPA, what does that mean? Well, there were commitments and all of those things that they said they were going to do. And there have things that have been done that I believe are definitive violations. So let's talk about a couple of those, okay? So one, when you read the terms of certification, well, let me just say this before I dig all the way into this. I need to go ahead and talk about the rally for a second, okay? So for those of you all who have not heard, we are having a rally for the Valley, and it is this Saturday at 4:30 at the Kingsport Farmers Market. It will last approximately 2 hours. We will have a sound system there. Dr. Spivey will be speaking. I will be speaking, and I will in fact have some additional information to give out at that rally. I will have Bella there. We want every single if you're a parent of a NICU baby, if you're a grandparent of a NICU baby, we want you to come out and bring your babies. It's going to be indoors. Matter of fact, it's the same place where the NICU reunion was held. So we would love for you to be there. We want to demonstrate and show Ballad Health the commitment and the amazing and incredible work that our hospitals and our healthcare professionals have done in this community. So, I definitely want you to be there, okay? We also want trauma survivors. If you have experienced a severe trauma and you were treated at Holston Valley Medical Center or you were treated at Bristol, we want you to come out and demonstrate. This is an opportunity for us to say, hey, this goes beyond Facebook. This goes beyond, it's easy to sit at home and just like go live, right? Hey, Terry Love. It's easy to sit at home and just, and pop up a live on your computer, but to take the time out. People have asked, why is this important? So I did an interview with WJHL about this rally. And they said, well, why now? Why do you feel like now's the time to have a rally? And, they said, you guys have had some big wins with some big resolutions passed. Why now? And I'll tell you why now. Now is not the time. Like when we have those wins, now's the time to capitalize on those. Now is not the time to take off, and now's not the time to relax and sit back and say, oh, it's the holiday, so we're just not going to engage. No, it's because we have those wins. It's because Nashville is paying attention. It's because the governor's office has called me twice. It's because of those things that now is the time to have a rally. Hey, Alicia, now is the time. Hey, Debbie, now is the time to get up off the couch, to get out of your house and to come to the Kingsport Farmers Market and show the support for your community and your health professionals in this area. This is the time to do that. Now, I will say this. Awesome, Reba. I'm so looking forward to you guys. I have made the trip to Wise. I have made the trip to Scott County and Lee County and Washington County, and we will continue to do that. And go as many places as we possibly can and share as much information as we possibly can. I truly believe, here's what I honestly believe. I don't believe that the public really understood what was happening with this COPA. I really don't. I think they said to you guys, hey, listen, if we don't bond together, if Misha and Wellmont doesn't do this thing together, somebody from the outside is going to come in and they're just going to devastate our hospitals and devastate our communities, And I think, God love it, you all just trusted them. You know what I mean? That's what I think. And I think now that people truly understand exactly what's happening, you're angry, and you should be, and you're scared. And you should be. Everything that I have read, folks, that wasn't paid for by Ballad Health, I promise, I'm telling you this from the fiber of my beings, everything that I have read that wasn't paid for by Ballad Health says this is bad and says that it's very bad for the community and for the region as a whole. You know, I've heard Alan say two different things a couple of times. On one hand, he says that they're going to do this regionalization, this regional trauma center, and this is being done all over the place. And, you know, and this is evidence-based and this is what we need to do. And then at the same time, I've read him speaking in like the business journals and other articles where he says, this has never been done before. We're going to stumble along the way. And it's one of those things where, you know, he's talking out of both sides of his neck. And I think that, you know, he's used to doing that because he's this, you know, marketing person. And he sounds good and he's well spoken. And, you know, and if you just stay on the surface, okay, it sounds okay. But the truth is, all you got to do is just scratch just a tiny bit and everything comes out. And I'm going to give you a really gross example, but this is what it sounds like to me. You know how when you have a zit on your face and like, it's just like, and all it takes is like one little thing and it just like oozes all out. That to me is like Alan Levine's words. All you got to do is just scratch the surface and every ounce of ugly, yellow, pussy infection comes running out because none of it is true. And that's just truthfully how I feel. I'm not talking about him as an individual. I'm talking about him as the CEO of this healthcare system and the way that I believe he has twisted and misrelayed information to people, you know, and that is incredibly important. You know, to me, if you're the CEO of a health, if you're the CEO of a healthcare system and you are talking about closing down a NICU and you quote the American Academy of Pediatrics from 2004 and you know that it's from 2004, right? That's a problem for me. Like, I'm a lay person and I knew enough to look at the latest edition, which is 2012, you know? So those are the things that are of concern to me because to me, that's intentionally deceptive. That's intentional misinformation. So when I say, you know, I'm not talking about you as a person. I'm talking about your actual actions. I don't have to attack your character, sir. I only have to talk about the things that you do. You know what I mean? And that's the things that matters to me. This is not a personal attack. This is me saying, hey, sir, this is legitimately what you've said and what you've done. And, you know, all I know to do is judge you by your fruit. All I know to do is judge you by your words and your actions and your deeds. And they have not been forthcoming to the public. And that's the thing that is super important. Don't play with your spit, please. You gotta love Tutu's babies. Okay, so now that we've covered all of that, please come out Saturday afternoon at 4:30 at the Kingsport Farmers Market to the Rally for the Valley. I will tell you this: there have been some amazing people to put this together because honestly, I haven't had the capacity for it. So you know, Joe Sarono and Tim Bradshaw and Angie Stanley and Hunter Locke. Those folks have been kind of working behind the scenes to make sure all of this comes out off without a hitch. I believe the facility, you know, didn't cost a whole lot, but there was some cost, and I believe there was some cost for a PA system. So I know they're going to take up some donations if you do want to help with that. I want to say it's somewhere around $250 to $300 total, somewhere around in that fact, in that arena. Okay. So, yes, please bring folks with you. People who don't quite understand, this is an opportunity for you to get educated. They're going to be, like I said, Dr. Spivey is going to be there. I'm going to be there. There are going to be EMS people. There are going to be people there who can give you information, who can answer your questions, who can get you equipped so that you really do have an understanding because, folks, this is, in fact, your livelihood. You know, when I first started reading the COPA, I read that it was a 10-year COPA. So I thought, okay, well, after 10 years, you know, there may be some trouble. And the more that I read, the more that I find out, oh my gosh, trouble is very soon to come. So for those of you all who do not know, there is only a commitment to keep, yes, Amy, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. We will have a station set up, an entire station set up with laptops for you to be able to sign the petition that we have. We are approaching 20,000 signatures. I have not checked it. We may have hit 20,000 already, but we will have a place for you to do that. We will have T-shirts available as well for you to purchase and to help with donations. You getting down? Yes. Okay. So there will be t-shirts and all that kind of stuff there as well. Terry, I do not know about flyers. I promise I will try to find out, but I don't know. I disconnected yesterday and I had to work a lot today. So I don't have all of that information quite yet for you. But okay, so let me just say this. Okay. So one of the things that I want you to understand is that your hospitals are only committed for 5 years. That's it. Don't do that, please. 5 years. Ballad Health has only committed to keeping your hospitals open for 5 years, folks. That's it. After that point, there could be all kinds of things that happen in terms of your hospitals and your health in your healthcare. Thank you, Terry. So you need to understand that. Let's talk a little bit about the NICU. So the NICU is what we call neonatal is a service line. So when you read, if you want to start to read the terms of certification, okay, the terms of certification identify and they define what's called service lines. So service lines are things like cardio, surgery, cancer, neonatal. All of those are what we call service lines. And if it's service lines, right? Thank you, Stacy. If it's a service line and Ballad Health plans to make a change, a repurposing, a close down, a relocation of, or a building of a new facility that's part of a service line, according to the terms of certification, they are required to give the state health department 90 days notice, and they have to give them time to review that information to say yes or no whether or not they can do that. There are 3 so far, and I believe there may be more, but there are 3 service lines where I have documented violations. That would be the NICU, that would also be the cancer center, and that would also be surgery. Now, some of you guys might be saying surgery. If you didn't watch my last live where we talked about yeah, you know, the NICU saved mine. So Bella and Dominic will be there on Saturday as well, Leanne. But these 3 service lines have been impacted. So let's take them one at a time, okay? And this is information that I want you to share. This is information that I want you to become familiar with. And this is information that I want you to use in your letters. Folks, please tell me that you are still emailing and calling your officials and your state health departments and your COPA oversight folks, because this is the stuff that needs to continue to happen. It has to happen every single day. Don't let up. Don't get complacent. Don't think, oh, well, we have their attention so we can just stop. Don't do it, because literally your lives and your family's lives depend on it from here on out. So stay diligent in those efforts. Don't let up. Okay, don't do that. So let's talk about the NICU, okay? So here's what we know. The NICU, they proposed to close down this NICU, and they announced it November 14th. Well, we now know, based on the SEC filing that they did back in May of last year, that they already planned to close down the NICU. We know that because it's included in the SEC filing. If you are in the Citizens Advocacy Ballad Health Group, I have uploaded that document for you as well. It is 504 pages, folks. But there's a lot of really good information in there if you will look at it. So what we know that was already the plan. Well, here's my question. I have several questions around that. So if they filed this with the SEC and they filed it on May the 18th, what I know is May 16th is when COPA oversight was appointed. So did COPA oversight know about the $950 million bond? Did they know about the SEC filing? And if not, why not? If you are considered, oversight, because this is how everything got funded. So I would think that they would know that. But my question is, if they don't, or if they did, why didn't someone ask questions at that point in time? Because here's what we know is if you have a service line that requires a certificate of need, so there are certain things like NICUs where you have to prove that there's a need for them. Hey, buddy, can you turn that off? Thank you. So you have to prove that there's a need. So in order for Holston Valley Medical Center to get a NICU, they had to prove that there was a need for a NICU, and the Perinatal Advisory Board had to be consulted in order for that to be approved. And I know that that's a lot of mumbo jumbo, but just follow me. So I don't know, Chelsea. Hey, buddy, can you get Tutu her phone? Can you get my phone? It's over there, I think, on the table. I'll text and see if I can find out, Chelsea. So what it means is that you would need to get the state's approval before you could get rid of those things. And they did not do that. They didn't do that. So here's what we know. Alan Levine submitted a letter. That letter showed by his own numbers that in 2017 or 2016, that the babies that left Bristol, 50-50 were split between Holston Valley and Johnson City. Well, guess what? This year, it's 67 to 33%. So 33% of Bristol's babies went to Holston Valley and 67% went to Johnson City. But yet you've heard Alan Levine say time and time again, oh no, we haven't been sending more babies to Johnson City. No, we haven't been keeping babies from going to Holston Valley. Well, sir, your own numbers, like in your letter to the state, you said it was 67-33. So make up your mind. I mean, I need you to either I don't know, believe your own lies at least, because, you're giving information and then contradicting it. You know what I mean? So, oh, wow, Elizabeth, when was that? See, this is the part that just gets me. So let me see if I can find out about the t-shirts for you. Hold on a second, guys. How much are t-shirts gonna be? Okay, I'm asking. Thank you, Teresa. So this is what I need. I do need papers. And this is the thing that we have to talk about, folks, is how do we do this? We know that there are some harsh realities around our healthcare system. We know that there are some harsh realities around our region, when that comes to opioid addiction, when that comes to NAS babies, when that comes to premature people not taking care of themselves, moms not getting the prenatal care that they need. We know all of those things exist, right? I do not believe, though, that people's lives have to be sacrificed for the bottom line. I do not believe that people need $1 million salaries and to tell people when they come to the ER, you need to pay $5,000 up front. I just believe that there's a middle ground that can be achieved and a cooperation that could take place to get some balance in things. And I don't believe that Southwest Virginia needs to be the sacrificial lamb for this entire region. I just don't believe that's how things need to be set up and how things need to be done. So that's the effort. So, I had someone say to me the other day, well, you're very idealistic and you need to face reality. And here's what I believe. I believe that we, the people, create the reality. I believe that we, the people, collectively create the reality. So if all of us buy into the belief that we can change this together, we can absolutely change this together. That's not idealistic. Those are facts. That's the only way that it's ever been done. So, it's just about agreeing. And it's agreeing and saying, hey, what do we want to create together? What do we want to build together? What do we want to make happen together? And we can do that. And let me tell you something, folks, there are more of us than there are of them. That's the fact. That's what scares them. Unity and cohesiveness scares them. That's what's so scary about all of this, is that there's so many of us. And despite our differences, despite our differences in opinions and politics and, religions and ideals, we are coming together on this one issue, and it scares them because there's power in numbers, and there's power in agreement, and there's power in unity. If you come from a Christian faith, what does it say? Where two or more are gathered together, right? When we agree, and because there's power in that, and we have that on our side. So I need for you all to believe that. Don't get discouraged. Now, the other thing that I'm really going to tell you guys to do, it's very, very easy to focus on all the negative that's happening and all the negative that they're doing and all the negative that we hear. But we've got to make sure that what we're speaking is what we want to create, and that we speak from a place of absolute power and conviction about what we want. Okay? I really want you all to just hear me on that note, on that front, okay? Because, okay, so for example, you know, when we think about some of the politicians that haven't made the best decisions leading up until this moment, right? Now, I don't have to trust everything they tell me, right? I don't have to, and I don't. What I am going to do, though, is I am going to say, hey, if they say to me they want to right the wrong that they've done, I'm going to look them dead in the face and say, show me. Put your actions behind your words and do that and hold them accountable. And it's not a case, some of these guys are ashamed of things that they've done. Some of these guys have been exposed for not being diligent in their duties. Some people are just out in the open. And when people are exposed, when people are shamed, when people are guilty, sometimes they don't necessarily know how to react and what to say and what to do. Okay? So, Vichy, well, see, here's the thing. I don't care what a Ballad employee says. I really don't, because here's the thing. I actually know the laws. I've actually read, stop that, Dominic. I've actually read the terms of certification. I'm not interested in what one Ballad employee has to say. What I'm interested in is what the legalities are and how it has to be done. So the bottom line is, here's the thing. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if people tell me I'm wasting my time. I don't care if people don't get it. Here's what I know is that if you want change, then make it happen. You could sit around and talk about it being a done deal, but it's not a freaking done deal, folks. Stop talking about the things that you don't want to focus on. Focus on the things that we know are fact. It's a done deal if you sit back on your ass and don't do anything to change it. That's a fact. But if you determine that you want to do something different, you can. It is not a done deal. Folks, if it were a done deal, do you think that Alan Levine would have left sunny Florida and brought himself up here? And do you think he'd be having 50 freaking town halls every week at every hospital? No, I promise you he would not be doing that. Do you think if it was a done deal, the CEO of this healthcare company would be on Facebook and Twitter 24/7 trying to respond to people? Do you think that they would be doing all that if it was a done deal? Absolutely not. They're doing all of that because they know it's not a done deal. When I got here 6 weeks ago, folks, there were 2 babies in the Holston Valley NICU. There's 9 now. There's 9. That's what I can tell you, right? When I got here, the Allendale Cancer Treatment Facility was scheduled to be moved and take new patients January 21st. It's been pushed back to March 4th. Don't tell me what's a done deal. Don't tell me that we can't bring out change. We can bring about change. You just have to absolutely 100% be diligent. These are the facts. Okay? So listen, I'm going to share with you a couple of things before I get off of here, because I talked about the NICU, okay? I want to talk about Allendale for just a second. So that cancer center is another service line. So here's what we know. If you go to the state health department's website, there's a place for COPA announcements. And if you look, every letter that Ballad Health sends to the state requesting changes is there, and every response from the state is there as well, okay? Here's what I can tell you. There has not been a single request for approval from the state except for the ones that was submitted November 14th. And I still haven't seen one that references the downgrade of Bristol. So Bristol trauma was not included in the original COPA, folks. It was not included in the original COPA. So for the Bristol folks, I need for you to get up off your butt and get hyped up about this, because that's your hospital. For some of you folks in Southwest Virginia, that's your closest trauma, right? So you all need to be upset about those things and trying to make them happen. I'm pulling up some information for you really quickly. So those are the things that you need to know. Bristol was not included in the original COPA agreement, so that hasn't happened. Allendale wasn't included. The NICU wasn't included, and the day surgery centers weren't included. So the fact that the day surgery centers it's illegal right now for them to be merged with USPI, which is going to take it to a national payer rate. Those are the things that should concern you. All of these things should concern you. So hold on, I want to give you this piece of information. So let me tell you what I see coming, okay? So let me tell you what I see coming before we get off of here, okay? So first of all, this Saturday is the rally in Kingsport. You need to be there, folks. This is your health care. This is your children's health care. You need to be there. One of the things that I want to point out to you is that in this SEC filing, it actually says that Ballad Health sees no future capital commitments, no large capital commitments outside of, it says future capital projects. And they say up to $120 million for a unified health record. They say up to $10 million for a common enterprise resource planning system. The Unicoi Hospital, which was $22 million total, and it says a possible residential addiction treatment facility, which is $20 million. What I didn't see listed, and someone who's read further than me, maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, what I did not see listed in that SEC filing, I didn't see any capital expenditures outlined for these pediatric emergency rooms, for these pediatric trauma cares. Like, they literally don't have any of that included, but they do have included reducing the workforce by 350 people in the next 5 years, well, the next 4 years. They do have that in there. So these are all things that you need to be concerned about. Now, we've got the rally coming up this Saturday. January 22nd at 5 p.m. is the local COPA local advisory council meeting. It's open to the public. You need to be there. I have included that information in the public group as well. Okay. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do, because I'm not going to stay on here too long, but I wanted to give you all just a little bit of foundational information, and I really want to promote the rally so that you come out and that you do attend on Saturday. Okay. You need to be telling your neighbors that it's not a done deal. Share with them information, share the lives with them, share the Facebook group with them. Let people read for themselves and understand for themselves. I do not expect for you to take my word for it. That's the reason why I post these documents in the group. It's a public Facebook group, Elizabeth. I will put the link up on top. Yes, the t-shirts have been made, and there are signs that have been made as well, okay? But the private Facebook group, it says Citizens Advocacy - Ballad Health. But those things are there. You need to continue to email and call. I put all of those numbers on the top of every live, which I will do again tonight. Read the information, folks. Don't just take my word on it. I want you to read yourself so that you gain your own understanding. This is your health care. You need to be well informed. You need to be empowered so that you can make the right choices for yourself. Yes, Alicia, thank you. Okay, so that's it. That I'm gonna go. I got a grandbaby fussing back here, so I'm gonna go help my mama out. But I will see you all Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Kingsport Farmers Market. Be there. It's gonna be a good time. We do have a full agenda outlined. It will be, Joe will kick everything off. Tim Bradshaw will speak. Dr. Spivey will speak. I will speak. We will have the NICU babies and the NICU nurses, if they are present, up on stage for a group picture. We will do the same thing with trauma survivors and any trauma surgeons that are there. Stephen, I will let them know. Inbox me the sizes that you need, sir. And let's do this thing. Come out in full force. Let's show them that our community can come together, and we can put action behind our likes and our shares, and demonstrate to them that we're serious about this thing and that we're not going away as a full-blown community. We're not going away. And we're going to fight for the rights of healthcare for everyone in this community. I believe that. We are making headway, and we're going to continue to do so, okay? So I'm going to go. I'm going to get up here and take care of grandbabies. You guys know how I end every single live, right? Be amazing, be light, be love. I'm out. Peace.